What is up, Red Rebel Nation? Welcome back to Roundtable Podcast. Guys, I am back with another video about the 20-month-old missing toddler, Quinton Simon. As we know, his mom is actually Leilani Simon. And I've talked about how the grandmother and Leilani look like they don't get along and they both know each other. I've also said that I do believe Leilani is actually guilty of actually having something to do with her, quote, her son, her toddler's actually death. We don't know if he's actually deceased anyways, so no one really knows that, but what I can say is they actually have enough proof that they went to search a landfill. So that goes to tell me that, well, the rumors about him being thrown in a trash can was actually proven yesterday in my other video, to 10 to Life. She actually proved that that was actually true about them having suspicious about him getting thrown in the trash can, which I'm talking about Quinton Simon. Anyways, guys, so Cinema Shogun actually has a very good point I actually want to share with you guys. But first, love yourself, like yourself, be nothing but yourself. Like and subscribe to the channel, it's highly appreciated, guys. Without further ado, let's continue.
Too much crazy stuff to keep up with outside of Quinton Simon's house today. I tried to go on a little vacation. I tried to get some peace. Billy Joe and Leilani figured that today was the day. Cinema Shogun's taking the day off. Let's go outside and let's sit in our front yard in some lawn chairs and have a counter protest.
Okay, I want to share something real quick. There's nothing wrong with actually, setting out in your front yard in lawn chairs, but your 20-month-old toddler is actually missing and supposedly, quote, in a landfill. So is that wrong for her to sit outside in her yard and relax? It absolutely is not. But now we have YouTubers outside of their house, causing all kinds of ruckus, people going to jail, and actually, I'm afraid of somebody pulling a gun and actually, getting hurt or killed because of this whole situation. At this point, I think we need the FBI they're watching her anyways because they don't think she's a flight risk. So that goes to tell me that they are actually watching her and are under surveillance on her. So anyways, guys, let's go right back into the video.
Protest about the missing child that went missing from our house that the FBI said Leilani murdered. Now, this situation, it's just gotten too far out of hand. At one point, I saw Billy Joe was like crying and screaming into the air on someone's live stream, and I kind of feel bad for her because I know this is a crazy situation, but at the same time, she isn't making things better. And she's causing her own drama as well by trying to point the fingers at the babysitter and whatnot. And I couldn't help but notice her bottom jaw just kept moving around uncontrollably. And I don't know why. I mean, I think I have an idea as to why, but I don't want to say it right here. But anyways, they're outside. At one point, Billy Joe takes all the signs out of her yard. Now the protesters are claiming they're going to press charges and try to get her locked up for theft, for stealing signs out of her own yard, because technically it was 2 inches over some line or so. Oh, man. But anyway, as all of this madness is going on, some reporters from the local news outlets down there in Savannah, Georgia, they tried to approach Leilani and ask her a few questions, and this is what happened.
Leilani, it's Andy Cole with WJCL. Did you kill Quinton? Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about it?
No.
I'd love to hear about it.
No.
I want to tell your story.
No, we don't care about telling a story.
Why don't you tell their story? Because they climb.
That's all y'all got to say? All right.
So as you can see,
Guys, look, she's actually, a prime suspect in her toddler's coming up missing. So of course you're going to have news stations and everyone else coming to her house to actually ask her questions. And they even actually took samples of her pool to look for DNA. So that's a good thing as well. Guys, actually, like the phone call they called in, talking to Leilani's mom, the guy did, talking about how Quinton Simon could have drowned it in the bathtub. Guys, things is out of control. This whole thing is weird, just like, the Kylie Rodney case. I've said that all the way through it, and I will continue to say it all the way through this one as well. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
she's refusing to answer questions, and that doesn't really come as a surprise to me. But my question is, Why even be outside if you're not going to talk? Like,
That's exactly true.
understand there are people outside of their house provoking them. They've been out there day and night screaming, yelling, doing all type of stuff. I understand it. So I'm not really holding Leilani and Billy Joe and their family at fault for coming in the front yard, although I don't think it was necessarily a good idea. I'm not going to fault them for that because they have been provoked. But why go out there if you're not going to talk? You know what I mean? You're just going there to sit out there. And if you're gonna put that much effort into going out there to, I guess, stand up to the protesters, why not put that same amount of effort into answering questions about your missing child? Like, you want to go out there and get pissed at protesters, and you got all the energy in the world for that. But when people are asking, well, hey, what do you think happened to your child? Do you want to talk about your child? No, we don't want to talk to anyone about that. We just want to yell at the protesters. We want to fight the protesters.
And see, what Leilani is actually worried about is actually saying something that is wrong and actually, well, getting accused from her words that they could actually use against her in court. So I could understand where she's coming from, but then again, she is a prime suspect of a murder case that hopefully gets solved. And this murder case may not ever be solved. Hopefully it does, because if they can't find Quinton Simon or any DNA remains, then this whole case has no leads, except the FBI saying that Leilani is actually, well, a prime suspect. But why isn't she a flight risk? That's what I'm not understanding. But anyways, guys, let's jump right back into the video.
We don't want to talk about Quinton. That's the vibe I'm getting. Anyone else getting that vibe? Because I try to be fair and I try to look at things from all angles. Because on one hand, you do have protesters out there acting a fool. And I understand that we have the right to protest in this country, so I'm not going to say too much about that. But at the same time, you can't always expect people to take that type of stuff laying down. So when Billy Joe and Leilani, they come out there to stand up for themselves, I'm not going to fault anyone for standing up for themselves. But at the same time, if you're going to be out there trying to confront protesters and, just stirring the pot, if you will, then at the very least, I think you should talk to reporters, get in front of some cameras, and talk about that missing child. If you want to prove to the world that you're innocent, going outside and arguing with people in the middle of the street isn't the first step I would take. Like, you got to remember, this family hasn't put out flyers. They have.
But you also got to remember that Leilani actually is the one that said her son may be with another family, and her son may be a blessing for them because then people couldn't have children. We're dealing with a woman like that, which is Leilani, which is Quinton Simon's mom. So with her making that statement and then saying, well, if something comes up that she's actually a suspect, that she actually did something, she'll turn herself in. Shouldn't it be like, I never did anything, and talk to people and actually, well, put her son's face on a t-shirt saying that, well, my son is missing, even flyers, hanging up flyers. That's something that should have been done from the very beginning, guys. Anyways, let's continue with the video.
Haven't put out missing persons posters. They've only done like one short little interview. So in my opinion, if they wanted to make themselves look better, this is not the route to go. They could have went other routes before coming to this point. Because the way I think of it, like, all right, if I was in this situation and I knew I was innocent, hell yeah, I would go outside and confront the protesters. But at the same time, I would be ready and willing to hop in front of any camera, to talk to any news reporter, to talk to anyone, to get any message out there that may help locate my child. And I do not sense that energy. I sense that, oh yeah, we're ready for the drama. We're ready for the pettiness. Y'all done barked up the wrong tree. We're going to fight the protesters back. But you're not going to go that hard for Quinton, because I feel like the family kind of already knows that Quinton is gone, and more than likely we know who did it. But let me know what you all think.
Anyways, guys, look, Cinema Shogun actually has a point here. His videos is actually really good videos. I'm actually beginning to kind of like them. Anyways, guys, Quinton Simon, 20-year-old, missing toddler, They think he's in a landfill because they know that he got thrown in a dumpster. So Leilani is actually his mother, and actually Quinton Simon is a 20-month-old missing toddler, guys. Crazy story, guys. Anyways, love yourself, like yourself, be nothing but yourself. Like, subscribe, channel's highly appreciated. Salute the Creek Squad, Red Rebel Nation. I love you guys, YouTube family. I love you guys too. Your boy Deuce is out. Thank you, guys.